this week's session of Meet the Monkey, and I have a box to open, and I'm really excited about this because I saw this monkey on eBay, and it's one that I had like probably a decade or more ago, the actual same one. I recognize traits of it that it's the exact same one I had, but I've been looking for a vintage rubber-faced monkey. You know, they have the rubber face, the rubber hands, and usually they have the rubber shoes, and sometimes they have the rubber feet. But I've had 3 of them that had the rubber face, rubber hands, rubber shoes. One of them didn't have fur on the trunk part of its body where the clothes would be. And the other one did have fur, but I think it was yellow. Then there was one that was smaller. One was 22 inches, one was like maybe 20 inches, and the one was a bit smaller, like 16. But then I had, which was my favorite, a Gund Chimp, and he was 20 inches, but he had rubber hands, rubber feet, rubber face, and he had open and shut eyes. And he was black, and he had some wear to his fur. When I bought him, I completely cleaned him. I just really wanted one of these Gund with the open shut eye, but the price would go high on them at that time. And this one had a bad eye, didn't function quite right, it was not set quite right, it was damaged. And so I think at that time, I think I got it for like $50-some, which was well below the other ones. Now the prices are down even more, so I got this guy for $25 plus the shipping, but I'm really excited to open it that this is the exact same one. So I've just got this gift bag over top of the shipping label. I'll take that off and cut the box open. Okay, we got it. So I'm going to pull that back so you can't see it. There we go. It's got paper on the top. And there he is. Another thing that I was going to state, and I forgot, is the one that I had scrubbed most of the paint off of the hands and feet. So that will be another telltale. This is indeed the one that I had. And I had cleaned him other places, but at that time, I actually cleaned everything. I washed him in water, even the stuffing, you know, just as he is, and let him dry. And another telltale thing is I had painted his mouth. You can see this has been repainted. You know, maybe not the best job. So if you look at his hands, most of the paint's been scrubbed off. That's what I thought in the pictures. If you look at the other ones, they have this, like on the face, this really ugly brown paint on. And it was so worn on his hands and feet that I couldn't stand it, so I just scrubbed it off. For the most part, it's not there. These have been scrubbed clean. And I had forgotten about his fingers being ripped open like that, but they were. His little eye here, it had the little nick in it, and it would somewhat work, but then it would just sometimes kind of go sideways. You can feel this guy, he feels cleaner than you might think of one with this much wear on it would feel, you know, if it had never been cleaned. Of course, I do not remember who I sold him to. whether they had him the whole time that he's been away from me. I think it's just really cool that he's back with me. There was another telltale thing, and this is so cool because this tells it for sure that this is the guy that I had in my home a little bit over a decade ago. If you see the straps on the feet, it's like I remember those straps being really like all stretched out and just kind of like hanging, lots of overhang. But this is what I did. Do you see that? I pulled them so that they were tight, and I sewed them here, and then I cut the excess off. This is so cool. This is the guy that I had. And look at that curled up lip. I always like the open mouth. Now, I looked at other ones. There were some that had nice eyes. I mean, both eyes were good and functional, but I thought, if this is the guy that I had, I loved him. And I remember a little plump body, and he had shorter legs than some of them. I'm going to get my yardstick and see what he measures. And he measures from his head to his feet 19 to 20 inches. I remember when I was scrubbing the paint off his hands and feet. I think I got tired of scrubbing, and I didn't do a lot on his face, but he was a boy when he was with me before. I don't believe he had a name. I'm going to call him GUNDY, Gund NY. His hair is pretty thick. Pretty good on his head. Got a few bald places. If you look at him online, most of them do have wear. He's going to get a good brushing. See how the eye went sideways? That's what it used to do. But it still like functions. But I remember trying to play around with it and trying to get it to work right or set right. It didn't seem to matter what I did, it wouldn't lay right. But I'm going to leave the eyes in. I'm not going to change them. We'll just have a little goofy eye there. Still looks pretty good. I have a little more experience with painting now. So I'm anxious to do this little project. So, I think this monkey is from the 50s. I will have to look that up. But some of these old rubber-faced monkeys are just, they're fun to have. But how cool is it to actually find one that you had in the past, recognize it, and actually add it back to your collection? Assuming, of course, that you want it back in your collection. So, that was super fun. Kind of crazy. When I saw this on eBay, I thought, that looks like the one I had. I was like, what are the chances of that? So that's just really something. I'm going to give a little history. There's lots more that I couldn't go into at all, but give a link to a video that you can watch that I'm taking some of this from, and we'll actually show some of the monkeys. But Zippy, or also known as Zip, Z-I-P, was a real-life chimp who appeared on the Howdy Doody show between 1948 and 1960. Because of popularity, Zippy dolls were soon made by the Russian toy company, also known as Toys at Play. Tippy, Zip's female companion, was soon released as well. Due to the popularity of Monkey Madness, kind of reminds you of Cheeky Monkey Mondays, huh? Zippy knockoffs and a Mr. Ben monkey debuted. Toy companies were quick to capitalize on this, and many variations were released through even the 1970s. Some holding bananas, some with felt hands and feet, and felt face, rabbit fur for some of the small ones. It's just all kinds of different variations and different sizes. Zippy or Zip was often dressed in a yellow shirt with Zip or Zippy on the front of the shirt, red bib pants, and his white rubber shoes were sewn onto his fur body. He had no feet. Mr. Bims, noted as clad in yellow, black body, red suspenders, holding a banana. Variations have shown up, same colors but no banana, or red, white body, etc. Other monkey toys were made to compete with Zippy and Bim. Some were smaller, and some much smaller, and then some were quite large. And then there was later little Monchichis. I think they were more in the 70s. You're probably more familiar with that. So that was just really a quick lesson on the history of Zippy and these rubber-faced monkeys. There's lots more information, and if you go on eBay or another site to try to buy one, it can be very confusing when you don't even have the first knowledge of what it's all about. So I hope that helps if you want to buy one of these little guys. They are super sweet. I've always enjoyed all of them that I had. I've had about 4 probably. And I am just thrilled to get this one back because this was my favorite. And I could have found one that was in better shape, but I have history with this guy. He has meaning to me. So I hope you enjoyed this week's Meet the Monkey. And welcome Gundy to my nursery and all the monkey fun.